Welcome back, everybody. Matt the Man here. So, saw the new Ridley Scott movie this past weekend, House of Gucci. This is the one with Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Al Pacino, Jared Leto that you can't even recognize. So let's get into it. First of all, I'm a big Ridley Scott fan. I like Ridley Scott as a filmmaker. Gladiator is one of my favorite films of all time. I had a movie poster hanging in my room since I started getting movie posters. Alien, the first Alien, is one of my favorite sci-fi horror movies. Then he did movies like The Martian recently, with Matt Damon, that was great. American Gangster with Denzel Washington, another great movie. Has he had some misses? Yes. But I think overall, Ridley Scott is a great filmmaker. So let's get into the positives. Number one, Adam Driver. I think Adam Driver is one of the most underrated actors of the last 10 years, the last decade. I think they wasted him in the Star Wars movies. But Adam Driver as Maurizio Gucci is great. I love his arc in the movie. He starts as this kind of weak, almost like a Michael Corleone type of character. Doesn't want to be in the family business, doesn't want to have anything to do with it. He meets Lady Gaga and leaves the business for a while, wants to live a normal, simple life, even if it's being poor. And, you start to see his arc throughout the movie. And Adam Driver goes from, like I said, this weak, kind of weird, lonely person into this, very confident, very, like I said, almost like a Michael Corleone in his rise in the Godfather movies. And like the Adam Driver has great chemistry with Lady Gaga. He has a great scene with Al Pacino. He does a great job in this movie. Lady Gaga. I would say Lady Gaga is someone she's obviously known for her singing. Especially when I was in late high school, early college years. Her music was always playing on the radio. Bad Romance. What was the other one? I don't know. So many other songs. Poker Face. That was another one that kept playing all the time on the radio. But recently she was in the American Horror Story series, a few seasons of that. But obviously in 2018, she debuted, official debut, in the remake of A Star is Born with Bradley Cooper starring and directing that film. And she did an amazing job. But once again, that movie had a lot of her singing in the movie, so it played to her strength as an actress, as a singer. Now she's working with people like Ridley Scott, a very well-known, great filmmaker. She's working with the likes of Al Pacino. She's working with Adam Driver. She's working with Jeremy Irons. Jared Leto. So this was actually the movie that I would say, this is the true testament of can Lady Gaga really be an actress? And the answer is yes. Lady Gaga is great in this movie. She really nails the role. Her performance, her art and performance throughout the movie is amazing. Like in her scene with Al Pacino, you would think, like, watching her on screen, you would think she's been doing this for like 20 years, 30 years. Her scene with Adam Driver are great, from the start of the romance to how it all ends. Like she gives a great performance here. I think better than her performance in A Star Is Born. Because a lot of that movie was on her singing. This one is firmly on acting. Like, really, you need to show that you can go toe to toe with Al Pacino, or even with an Adam Driver, or really get direction from a director like Ridley Scott. And I think she nails it. Al Pacino. Ha! Al Pacino is great in this movie. I really think this might be his best performance in I don't know how long. Yeah, I've liked him in other movies, but like if you go back to maybe like Heat in '95, or maybe even Any Given Sunday in '99, I don't think we've seen a better performance from Al Pacino since then. I mean, I would not be surprised if he gets nominated for a supporting role in this movie, for this movie. And yes, this movie does have, not really homages, but the feeling of a Godfather movie. There's even one scene when they go to this movie takes place in Italy. When they go into this like little vineyard, this like an off the beaten path little vineyard farm area, and it reminded me of Al Pacino and The Godfather. You know, Michael Corleone going on his own for a little while, you know, leaving the normal life on this vineyard farm area. And I'm like, oh my God, this feels like a Godfather Part 4 right now. Without an even older Michael Corleone. So yeah, definitely, Al Pacino's great in here. His scenes with Jeremy Irons, his scenes with Adam Driver, his scenes with Lady Gaga. I mean, like I said, this is probably one of the best performances in probably almost 15 years since of Al Pacino's career. So once again, a great director with a great actor showing what they can do with good material. You know, Al Pacino does a great job. Cinematography, this movie is beautifully shot. I think you can say that a lot about Ridley Scott movies. Prometheus, The Martian, Gladiator. I mean, they're all beautifully shot movies. This is no different. The family dynamic, like I said, this definitely feels a little bit like The Godfather. You know, different families arguing, fighting with one another. Not in terms of violence, but just the political family dynamic with dealing with an empire like Gucci. I enjoy that a lot, the interesting dynamics in the family. You know, someone would double cross one person and cross somebody else, and wow, man. That's what I think. Sometimes it's good to have a family that's not has a business with all that money, because you know someone's going to come in there and just, you know, cross someone or double cross someone. So I enjoyed that part of the story. Like I said, Ridley Scott, he's a great director. I'm glad the acting he gets out of his actors in this movie is great. Then you have like the cinematography, the look, the pacing, over 2.5 hours. He does a great job with this film. Like I just mentioned, the pacing. I was hooked into the film. I think you get characters that you jump into and really attached to and want to follow. Lady Gaga did a great performance. Adam Driver has a great arc in the movie. Al Pacino's amazing. So it's kind of, you want to stay with these characters for as long as possible. Some of my negatives. Selma Hayek is in this movie. She plays like a evangelist or a sidekick. One of those people that can read what your future is going to be, what they see for you in the future, whatever you want to call those people. And there's about 5 or 6 scenes throughout the movie with Lady Gaga and Selma Hayek that, other than the final one where they are going and hire people to kill, Adam Driver's Gucci character. This is based on a true story, so this is no spoiler. All the other scenes with Selma Hayek and Lady Gaga were 100% not necessary, not needed, and these are probably taken out about 10 minutes of the movie. In that, where that's more into the editing, where taking that out, taking that out, take that out. But yeah, mainly the Selma Hayek and Lady Gaga scenes to me did nothing for the film. Nothing. And that was the only thing that kind of drew the movie down in terms of its pacing of, oh, here's another scene with Selma Hayek and Lady Gaga, and it really doesn't do anything. Also, the last 10 minutes of the movie, once we get into the part where they're like, oh yeah, we hired these guys, we're going to track them, watch what he does every day, and then decide when we're going to kill him. That was so rushed that, like, the last 5 minutes of the movie was boom, 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 done. And I thought, if you took out all these Lady Gaga and Selma Hayek scenes and really spend the third act of the movie focusing on that part of the story of, finally the marriage ends, he wants a divorce, she goes out to hire some people to kill him, since they're not divorced yet, if he dies, she'll get all the money, and really show the development, and then the finale of, or the aftermath of all that, that would have been a really compelling third act for already a great first 2 acts. But they rushed it in like the last 10 minutes of the movie, and I felt like, oh, wow, you kind of missed the mark on that. So, overall, I thought this was a good movie. Better than Ridley Scott's last movie, All the Money in the World. He did with Christopher Plummer, Mark Wahlberg, and Michelle Williams. So I would probably give this movie a 4 out of 5. Like I said, I think if they didn't have the Selma Hayek stuff, and they didn't rush the last 15 minutes of the movie, it probably would have been higher for me. But yeah, 4 out of 5 is what I give this.